Hello friends, we'll now be discussing the chapter Scope of Supply. Scope of Supply, that is the first chapter of our CGST Act. Okay, so now what this scope of supply means? So because like I said it in the first lecture that the taxable event for the purpose of GST is supply, and therefore we need to first understand कि भाई ये supply के अंदर क्या क्या exactly cover होता है, what all exactly will be as a part of this supply, and that is why we are understanding the scope, the entire scope as to what all can lead to the levy of tax under GST. So now I'll quickly take you through the provisions, scope of supply provisions, that is section 7 of the CGST Act. So the relevant section that we are going to discuss now will be section 7 of the CGST Act 2017. Now शायद आप ऐसा पूछोगे that sir what about the first 6 sections? So section 1 is the short title extent commencement, section 2 is definitions. So whichever definition is relevant to us, we're going to use that definition at that point in time. Section 3, 4, 5 and 6 are regarding the administrative powers and how the officers have the powers under the GST law. So that's why they are not really relevant for us from the point of view of our syllabus or our exams. Section 7 is what we'll be discussing at the very beginning. Okay. Now if you are able to see these on the notes part of it that we are discussing. Okay. So now the first part of the provision that I would want to discuss with you all is, so what does section 7 tell you? Section 7 says that for the purpose of the expression supply includes. So one important thing that we need to understand over here is that this definition is a inclusive definition. Now when I say something is an inclusive definition, what it exactly means is that there are a defined number of activities which are envisaged in this definition of the word supply as on today, but tomorrow there might be some additional activity which can also come up in this supply, that as a word supply which is covered. So for the purpose of this act, the expression supply includes, that is an inclusive definition, all forms of supply of goods or services or both, such as sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease or disposal. So now there are specific activities which are mentioned: sale, transfer, barter, license, exchange, lease or rental or disposal, which are made or agreed to be made, which are made or agreed to be made for a consideration by a person in the course or furtherance of business. So now we need to really understand that, okay, what all is the part that they are trying, rather making us understand. So now there are certain factors that are important to note. We'll note that first. One is that section 7 के हिसाब से when there is a taxability, so section 7 subsection 1 says that supply means and includes all form of supply of goods or services or both. So supply includes all forms of supply of goods or services or both. Goods or services or both. So one very important thing is that this inclusive, whatever definition has been given or rather scope has been given, it is with respect to goods as well as services. So it is in respect of goods as well as services. So supply includes all forms of supply of goods by way of sale, exchange, transfer, barter, license, rental, lease or disposal, which is made or agreed to be made, which is made or agreed to be made. So that is the second part. That means what it is trying to indicate is that the sale may not immediately take place, but it has only been agreed that there will be a sale taking in future. So it is for the present transactions as well as for the future transactions for which the agreements have taken place today, which is made or agreed to be made. Now what is next? For a consideration, which is made or agreed to be made for a consideration. So what is consideration? What is the meaning of the word consideration? Yes, something in return. Now you must have learned this in the Contract Act. What is consideration? Quid pro quo. Something in return. Made or agreed to be made for a consideration, and in the last part is in the course or furtherance, in the course or furtherance of business. So now why we are really trying to break down this first entire scope of supply is we need to understand, okay, we are going to understand मतलब ये सब जो terms है sale, exchange and all, everything we are going to discuss in detail, no doubt about it. So what it means to say is supply means and includes all form of supply of goods by way of those activities which are made or agreed to be made for a consideration in the course or furtherance of business. So most importantly, there is a essential factor that comes into picture if I want to discuss GST, if I want to discuss the applicability of GST. I need to first get into an act to understand that there are certain activities which are made or agreed to be made for a consideration. So unless there is a consideration, there is no question of GST coming into picture. Now there are certain exceptions to that. That there might be a scenario where consideration is missing, still GST is being made applicable. In the course or furtherance of business, now unless there is a commercial intent existing, unless there is a commercial activity existing, we are not saying that commercial activity should lead to profit or loss. It might be profit, it might be loss, it might be a break even point, no profit, no loss. But there has to be a commercial activity existing. Now, assume a scenario that you go to a restaurant or you go to McDonald's or you go to KFC or you go to Subway and all, anywhere. You order some food, you go to the restaurant, you order some food, you get a bill, you have a GST levied on that, 5% GST. Now, what is the difference over there? That 5% GST will be levied. Why? Because you were served food in that restaurant or in that cafe or in that outlet, so you have been charged with GST. Now, the same thing, you go to you come home or you ask your पेरेंट्स दैट मॉम एंड डैड और जो भी आपको घर पे खाना बना के देते हैं, आप उनको बोलो कि सर प्लीज गिव मी वॉट एवर फूड इज देयर फॉर लंच टुडे, प्लीज सर्व मी द लंच, यू हैव योर लंच. Now there are two factors missing. You don't pay any consideration at home, right? And secondly, most important thing, why there will be no GST then at home if the food is served to you, and why there is a GST when the food is served to you in the restaurant? So point number one, consideration is missing. Point number two, is there a furtherance of business that was intended when it was served to you at home? The answer is no. And therefore, घर पे सप्लाई होता है कि नहीं, तो more importantly I would say that okay, is there a sale, is there a transfer, is there a barter, is there an exchange, whatever taking place. Most importantly, is there a consideration? No. Is there a intention, is there a furtherance of business happening over there? Again the answer is no. And therefore we don't pay any GST when we have food at home. But the same food, if we have it in some restaurant or in some hotel, then we do end up paying GST, because there is a supply, there is a consideration, and there is a intention by way of course or furtherance of business. Is it clear? Alright, check. Then let's move further. So this is this is the point that we are trying to understand, that if I have to say that for a transaction to be taxable or for a transaction to be called as a supply, there are certain things which are important to be understood. So what are those things? That for a supply, for a transaction to be a supply, there needs to be a supply which is made or agreed to be made for a consideration, and most importantly in the course or furtherance of business. So if all these transactions, if all these activities are made for a consideration in the course or furtherance of business, only then I will discuss whether there will be a GST is applicable or not. Else there is no need to discuss. Alright. Now, so we said that we are going to understand those terms, but then before we go there, we'll just quickly try to understand that what is the meaning of the word goods as far as the CGST Act is concerned. So what is the simple meaning given over there? Goods means every kind of movable property other than money security, but includes actionable claims, growing crops, grass and things attached to or forming part of the land which is agreed to be severed, that is cut, before supply or under a contract of supply. So what they are trying to tell you precisely is that as per section 2 subsection 52 of the, this is not 520, it is 2 subsection 52 of the CGST Act, goods means every kind of movable property other than money and securities, but includes actionable claim, growing crops, grass, things attached to or forming, attached to earth or forming the part of the land, which are to be agreed before to be severed, before being sold. What about the definition of the word services then? Services means anything other than goods. Anything other than goods. So I'll just, for the sake of clarity, I'll just make it 252. Yeah. Then, so as defined under section 202 to subsection 102, services means anything other than goods. So now see, the scope of services is so huge. Goods at least has a defined meaning, but services के बारे में बोला, anything that is not goods will be considered as service, and therefore it's very important for us to understand that anything and everything under the sun which takes part as an activity, that will be taxable under GST law. And we are going to actually go and dig it further, that okay, exactly what it is. Is it every damn thing that is happening that is going to be taxed or not? So that is what we are going to understand. So the first term from the activity, so which are supply means by way of, supply by way of, what is the first thing that we discussed? That was sale. The first thing that we discussed was, the terminology we discussed was, rather we are going to discuss is sale. Now when I say sale, sale may be what in respect of goods as well as in respect of services. When I say sale, what happens primarily? Now you have discussed, you have understood about the word sale when you are discussing this Sale of Goods Act in your in your foundation or probably in your intermediates. So sale means there is a change in ownership from the seller to the buyer. So if there is a sale of goods, it will be considered as a part of the word supply, and therefore it will be a taxable event for the purpose of GST. So sale can be of goods. What does sale mean? Sale means there is a change in ownership. So if I go to the showroom of Tata Motors and I buy a car, I go to Tata Motors and I buy a car, there is a sale of goods. If I go to Zoom Cars and I hire a self-driven car for a period of 7 days, that is a sale of services. That is a sale of services. So when I go to Tata Motors, I buy a car, there is a sale of goods because I am becoming the owner. When I go to Zoom Car and I hire a car for 7 days, they are giving me possession but not the ownership, and therefore there is a sale of services. So sale of goods or sale of services what is the difference? In case of sale of goods, there is obviously going to be a change in ownership. In case of sale of services, there will be more or less a change in possession if it is in respect of specific goods per se. Now if you talk about chartered accountancy services, then वहाँ पे कोई goods का तो involvement है नहीं. Still it is considered as a supply of service, or it is a sale of service. So primarily the first terminology of the scope of supply. So they have said sale, exchange, transfer, barter, license, rental, lease, disposal, सब कुछ. उसमें का सिर्फ सेल इज व्हाट वी आर फोकसिंग राइट नाउ. सेल मे बी ऑफ गुड्स, सेल may be of services. In case of sale of goods, what we say is that there will be a GST levied because there will be a change in ownership. In case of sale of services, there will also be a GST because sale is in respect of both goods as well as services, which is considered as supply under GST, and therefore it will be a taxable event for the purpose of GST. Okay. So we have taken an illustration over here. Goods lying in A's warehouse are sold to B. B will however further sell such goods from A's warehouse only. So there was a change in ownership, but there was no change in possession. In such case, there is sale of goods. Even the risk and reward gets transferred, and however the possession does not change. But since the ownership has changed, there will be a sale of goods from A to B, and therefore यहाँ पे that will be considered as a supply under the GST. So now the services. So we just discussed. A chartered accountant provides project feasibility services to a builder for free for a fees of rupees 1 lakh. नहीं free में हम कुछ नहीं करते. For a fees of rupees 1 lakh. In such case, there would be a provision of professional service to a builder for consideration, and it will amount to supply of services. So now see, what is important for us to understand is when I'm talking about a sale, my sale can be with respect to goods or it may be with respect to services. When I'm talking about sale, it can be with respect to goods as well as services. In goods, primarily what is happening, that there is going to be a change in ownership. If there is a service which is in relation to goods, then there will be only a change in possession. There will be a change in possession. But otherwise, in case of pure service contracts, there will be only a pure case of provision of service. There will be a pure case of provision of service. Now, we are trying to actually understand a bigger picture, that ये sale of goods है या sale of service है. Ultimately, what the law is saying is that ultimately sale is a activity which comes under the umbrella of the word supply, and therefore if there is a sale, it will amount to supply. Now again I run through that means okay, sale हो गया means supply हो गया. Now supply, it may be of goods or it may be of services or it may be of both. So if there is such a sale, that is supply of goods or services or both, if that is made or agreed to be made for a consideration, and if that is for the course or furtherance of business, then in all such cases I am going to say that GST will be applicable. In all these cases I am going to say GST will be applicable. In all this there will be a GST applicable. So the first terminology that we have understood so far is, what do you mean by sale? That is, sale will be in case of goods also. If it is a sale in relation to a service of, if there is a transaction of service in relation to goods, then there will be only a change in possession, but then that will be still considered as a service. So I gave you an example. So in change of ownership example, I told you that okay, if let's say if I buy, so if Omkar purchases a car from Tata Motors, if I buy a car from Tata Motors, for them there will be a sale and there will be a change in ownership. But यही चीज if Omkar hires a car from Zoom car. If I hire a car from Zoom car, then there will be a supply of services. There will be a supply of services. Alright, is it clear? Yes? So I hope you've understood this part. Okay then. Now, next one, transfer. In the pre-GST regime, there was a terminology called as stock transfer, where goods were manufactured by one company were transferred from one end to another. Apart from that, transfer has a very different vivid meaning as well. Matlab, transfer can be transfer of rights, transfer can be transfer of goods, it can be by any way. So now let's say that if there is a scenario that I am transferring rights to use my book, I am transferring the rights to use my book for to be contributing as a story for a film production. I am transferring my goods from one end to another. So for the purpose of GST, what is relevant for us to understand is that this transfer will also be considered as a supply. Now what happens is, understand, let's say that we'll first say that there is A Limited which is having a factory in Gujarat, and again there is A Limited which is having a factory in Madhya Pradesh. Same company is having a factory in Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. So if material is to be transferred from A Limited's factory in Gujarat to A Limited's factory in Madhya Pradesh, so what we are saying is that in case of transfer of material from Gujarat factory to Madhya Pradesh factory. Now technically speaking, एक ही कंपनी है, वो सिर्फ अपने एक फैक्ट्री से दूसरे फैक्ट्री में गुड्स भेज रही है. But GST says that, boss, we don't treat this institution of pure transfers, and therefore this activity will amount to a transfer of goods. Now you may say that, but why will same company pay consideration to each other? Matlab, if I go back over here and if we now discuss this activity of transfer, so in this activity of transfer, what is happening is that from my Gujarat factory, there is something that has gone to Madhya Pradesh factory. So दोनों किसका है? Both of this is belonging to A Limited. This is also belonging to A Limited. So absolutely there is nothing that A Limited is supposed to worry that by मेरे goods वहाँ से यहाँ से वहाँ जा रहे हैं. But GST says that there is if there is a transfer, then that transfer amounts to supply for the purpose of GST. Now we have to evaluate the taxability. So that supply is there if it is happening for a consideration, and in the course or furtherance of business. Now you may say that sir, A Limited अपने एक फैक्ट्री से दूसरे फैक्ट्री में अगर गुड्स भेजते हैं, तो why will they pay GST? I mean rather, why will they pay money to each other? Consideration क्यों pay करेंगे एक दूसरे को? So that is definitely a very valid point or valid question that may come to your mind. So what we are trying to understand over here is that in the provisions of GST, there is a exceptional provision. With respect to transactions to related parties and distinct person. Related party and distinct person that we are going to discuss later on what exactly distinct person is. So in this case, I am right now just telling you, and you need to just believe me for the moment, that in case there is a transfer by way of such material transfer from companies one factory to another factory, if it is happening for a consideration, if it is happening in the course or furtherance of business, this activity of transfer would amount to supply, and there will be a applicability of GST in such case because it is falling under the scope of supply. Okay, is it clear with you? Yes, very good. Now barter. How is barter really a tax? I mean, barter really a transaction on which they thought to levy a tax. So in case of barter, what actually happens? In barter, now see, there are some, I mean, there's a description which is given to you in the notes. So I'm not going to read that description for you. Okay, that is what something what you can go through while you're studying. In barter, what happens is that there is a exchange of goods for goods or service for service or goods for services. Now in the very old days, you must have studied about barter in your school. So in barter, what used to happen that people used to give, say, 5 liters milk, I'm giving it to somebody, he is going to give me 5 kg of wheat or 5 kg rice मैं दे रहा हूँ किसी को, कोई मेरे को सब्जी ला के दे रहा है, कोई fruits दे रहा है. That is how it was working. So in case of barter, the assumption is that what I am doing for the other person, he in return does something for me, which is presumably of the same value. Barter mein, what was the intelligent point that we are trying to understand is that in case of barter, primarily what happens is that barter mein there is a exchange of goods for goods. There is an exchange of goods for goods, or there is an exchange of goods for services, or service for service, and so on. Now presumably ये सब क्या होता है? Presumably of same value. This is presumed to be of same value. So GST का taxability point क्या डिस्कस करता है कि भाई barter is also coming under the छत्रछाया of the word supply. So if there is a barter transaction taking place, for a consideration, now again there is a catch point over here that तुम लोग बोले सर अगर barter ही है तो consideration कहाँ से आएगा? तो नहीं आएगा. But now if we'll take an example over here that a chartered accountant agrees to file 10 income tax returns for his CS friend, and the CS friend in return agrees to file 5 ROC filings. The fees for this work is rupees 25,000. However, the CA and CS do not pay any fees to each other. They do not pay any fees to each other. So यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है that there is a factor of consideration which goes missing, but it is not so. What the law sees this like? Law ऐसा दिखता है that there is a service. What does the law perceive over here is that there is a service of rupees 25,000 which is provided by CA to CS and vice versa. So that means there is actually a value creation. There is actually a value creation from the government's point of view of rupees 50,000. Now कैसे consider हुआ 50,000? 25,000 का काम जो CA ने CS के लिए किया एंड और 25,000 का काम जो CS ने CA के लिए किया, ठीक है, they did not end up paying anything to each other in terms of money. But यहाँ पे ऐसा कैसे किधर बोला कि consideration has to be in money? It can be other than money. So the service of rupees 25,000 is provided by CA to CS. Likewise, the CS has provided a service of 25,000 to the CA. So there is a value creation of rupees 50,000 and therefore consideration in this case, in case of barter, consideration क्या आएगा? The value of exchanged goods or services will be dealt as a consideration. The value of these exchanged goods or service will be considered as a consideration. And if this is happening, if it is in the course or furtherance, if it is in the course or furtherance of business, then even this will be considered as a supply. Even this will be considered as a supply. So till now we have discussed sale, transfer, barter. Correct? Okay. Then there is something called as a exchange. Now exchange and barter में क्या difference है? So in case of exchange, what happens is that there is a exchange of goods for goods or service for service or goods for services. But the only difference, or rather I'll say a thin line of difference between barter and exchange is that in case of exchange, the principal point is that whatever you are exchanging with each other, goods or services, whatever it may be, the differential value is to be settled in terms of monetary consideration. Take a part. The differential value is to be settled for a monetary consideration. So now usually you must have seen these things happening. So I'll just go through the example over here right now. Mr. X, a TV shop owner, is willing to buy a stock of new TV worth rupees 40,000 each from the manufacturer. The TV manufacturer offers to buy unsold stock of TVs in exchange of the new one. Mr. X gives his old TV, which is valued at 7,000, and settles the differential consideration for rupees 33,000. In this case, there is a value creation of rupees 40,000 in totality by the manufacturer, and there is a value creation of rupees 7,000 by the seller, and therefore there will be actually a total value creation of 47,000. So what does the law try to say? That if there is a value creation happening, but you are not paying to each other because you are settling only in differential amount in cash, we are not going to say that ये 40,000 का transaction होने के बाद आप उसको ऐसा बोलो that okay, make it only a transaction of rupees 33,000 and let that 7,000 get knocked off. Even in this case, it will be assumed that there is a supply of 40,000 from the manufacturer to the Mr. X. And Mr. X, a TV shop owner, is willing to buy a stock of new TVs from rupees 40,000 from manufacturer. So यहाँ पे ऐसा हो रहा है that manufacturer sells to Mr. X a TV worth rupees 40,000. But there is Mr. X who also has sold the old stock to the manufacturer for 7,000. So over here what is going to happen, that there is one transaction of supply from the manufacturer to the TV shop owner of 40,000 rupees. There is another transaction of supply of rupees 7,000 from the TV shop owner to the manufacturer. So end of the day they may end up only settling in net 33,000 rupees. That is fine. But for the purpose of GST, these are two different transactions and they will be liable for GST. So यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा, ये वाले एग्जाम्पल में हम लोग के क्या हो जाएगा, the just a second. So what is happening over here? Manufacturer, the manufacturer is making a supply of television of rupees 40,000, and the TV shop owner is making a supply of old stock of television of rupees 7,000. सो नेट बेसिस पे उन लोग क्या करेंगे, 40,000 के सामने वो 7,000 रुपए माइनस करके बोलेगा दैट ओके मेरा सप्लाई का वैल्यू सिर्फ 33,000 है, विच इज नॉट अ एक्सेप्टेड पोजीशन इन लॉ. सो यहाँ पे देर इज अ एक्सचेंज दैट इज टेकिंग प्लेस, बट ये एक्सचेंज में मैन्युफैक्चरर टू टीवी शॉप ओनर there is one supply of 40,000 rupees, and TV shop owner to manufacturer there is another supply of rupees 7,000. So again, what is the value creation then happening? बताओ वैल्यू क्रिएशन कितने का हो रहा है एक्चुअली गवर्नमेंट के हिसाब से? 47,000 रुपीज के गुड्स मार्केट में आ रहे हैं, बेचे जा रहे हैं एक दूसरे को. सो जो जीएसटी लगेगा दैट विल बी कंसिडर्ड एज अ सप्लाई ऑन दिस रुपीज 47,000 in totality. Now when we'll go in detail to discuss that transaction wise कैसे tax levy करना and all that, we'll go there. So exchange is a supply happening for a consideration in the course or furtherance of business, thus liable for GST. Are we clear? Yes? Are you clear on this? The next one, which is about leasing, rentals and licensing. Now more or less these are transactions which are relating to the immovable properties, and therefore we are not going to right now discuss much in depth about these three, or rather I would say that when it comes to the discussion part of it, we are only going to say that leasing, renting and licensing. So if I talk about leasing or renting, it is generally in relation to immovable property. Renting nowadays is about movable property. You have furniture on rent, Furlenco करके आता है, you have Zoom car on rent, car renting services है. So there are so many things on rent. Nowadays you also get the bridal wear, lehengas and all on rental basis. वो भी होता है आजकल कि शादी के लिए नए कपड़े क्यों खरीदने, आप रेंट पे लेके जाओ, रेंट पे लाके दे दो, वैसे भी कहाँ पे यूज होते बार बार. So what happens, you know, that लोग खुद के शादी के कपड़े इतना महंगा खरीदते हैं कि बाद में उनको वापस पहनने की इच्छा ही नहीं होती, बोलते कि यार इतना स्पेशल ड्रेस है मैं वापस क्यों पहनूं. And therefore nowadays they've started with startups. They give lehengas on rent, they'll give sherwanis on rent, and then so on and so forth. So any renting activity, it may be of renting of any type of goods, movable goods or immovable property, or leasing, that will be liable for GST. Licensing agreements are slightly different. Licensing में if I am giving a copyright, if I am giving a trademark to somebody, पेटेंट है मेरे पास, सपोज मेरे एक टेक्नोलॉजी है, उसका टेक्नोलॉजी का मैंने पेटेंट यूसेज अग्रीमेंट बनवाया है किसी के साथ, तो दैट विल अमाउंट टू अ transaction. So whether it is licensing of goods or the licensing of my intellectual property rights, it will amount to supply. Fair enough. And the last part of this discussion, that is disposal. What do you mean by disposal? Now disposal by the very word, क्या लगता है कि जब हम लोग किसी चीज को थ्रो ऑफ करते उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं डिस्पोज ऑफ करना. जीएसटी में disposal is considered as a supply. Disposal is considered as a supply. So if there is a disposal, matlab what, I have a unused stock in the business, I have obsolete stock in the business, outdated है, वो मैंने अगर फेंक दिया, even though I am throwing it off for I am giving it to the कबाड़ी वाला or something like that, बहुत nominal price पे दे दिया, still that disposal activity amounts to supply. And because this disposal activity amounts to supply, and if it is happening for a consideration, it is in the course or furtherance of business, therefore it will be liable for GST. So, sale, transfer, exchange, barter, license, renting, lease or disposal, all these activities that we have discussed so far, okay, so what all was there? Sale, exchange, barter, license, rental, disposal, did we miss on something? कुछ रह गया? Transfer is there, and transfer. So if either of these activities, they are taking place in relation to goods or services or both. If either of these activities which are taking place in relation to goods or services or both, if they are taking place for a consideration, and if all this happens in the course or furtherance, of business, then for the purpose of GST, they will come under the scope of the word supply. And what is supply? Supply is the taxable event under GST. Supply is the taxable event under GST. So friends, this is just the first part of our chapter scope of supply. We have just discussed the provisions of section 7 subsection 1a. In the next lecture, we will be discussing the provisions of section 7 subsection 1b, c and the newly inserted section 7(1) capital A. Basis that, thereafter we will be discussing the schedules to the CGST Act. And therefore what I am going to request you is that whenever you are going to watch these lectures, scope of supply part 1, part 2, part 3 or 4, whatever the parts are going to be, do not watch them in a inverted sequence, always watch them in a sequence, because I will always be giving a reference to the previous part of a chapter. So I hope that you just remember to follow this. Okay, so what we are going to do now next is that we will be discussing the scope of supply, section 7(1)(b), but in the next lecture. So till then, thank you all of you, Jai Hind and take care. Bye bye.